Hello, and welcome to the induction PowerPoint for Drama and Theatre Studies A-Level here at the Coopers Company and Cockburn School. My name is Mr. Crouch, Head of Drama and Theatre Studies here at the school, and you'll also be taught by Mr. Jones. The exam syllabus we'll be following is EDUCAS, and the link on this opening PowerPoint will take you to the course specification. All links on the main PowerPoint that you can find on the main school website do all work, but for the purposes of this Loom video, we won't be showing all of them. So, first thing is the course. How is the course broken down? Similar to GCSE, EDUCAS, it is broken into Component 1, Component 2, and Component 3. Component 1 and Component 2 are the practical components, with Component 3 being the written paper at the end of the 2 years. For Component 1, you'll be expected to reinterpret an already existing published play in the style of a drama practitioner. For Component 2, you'll actually perform 2 plays, one an extract from a published play in a theatrical style, and then devise a piece in a contrasting practitioner style. We'll go through practitioners and styles in a moment. Component 3, the written exam, you'll be looking at 3 plays in total. You look at 2 plays in its entirety, and then for the 3rd play, you'll only be looking at a given extract. This extract is given a month or 2 before the real exam, and it's where you apply all your learning to a couple of pages of text. For the theory, no matter which path or route you choose through the course as a designer or an actor, you will need to know the theory of all. So when you look at the 3 plays in theory, you've got to look at them in the role of an actor, a designer, and also that of a director. Here is roughly how the 2 years will pan out. As you can see, we sort of overlap a couple of different components at once, getting you ready for the written exams and the practical. Our aim is to get Component 1 completed in Year 12, and then you complete the other 2 components in Year 13. As explained, for the written exam, you'll be looking at 3 plays. As I said before, the links on the main PowerPoint do work. This link will take you to a website where you can find all 3 of the plays. You will need to purchase a copy of Saved by Edward Bond and a copy of Machinelle by Sophie Treadwell. Take note of the codes underneath, because these are the versions we need you to get hold of. These ones will make sure that the numbers and pages correspond with the written exam paper. You will not be taking your own copies into the exam. We provide you with clean copies, but these are good for you to read through and you can make notes in. We say Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime is optional, because that's the one where you only look at an extract. However, we will look at the play in its entirety in different forms through watching the production or working on individual extracts in preparation. So I did briefly mention it earlier, but you can complete the course practically in 2 different ways. You could either complete the course as an actor or complete the course as a designer. Unfortunately, my little icon is hiding it a bit, but if you're going to be looking at the course as an actor, you look at voice, movement, characterization, style, it says engagement, and individual contribution. Those will be the elements you get marked on. If you follow the course as a designer, you'll have to pick one of the 4 options in the list, either costume, which includes hair and makeup, lighting, sound, and set and props. So we've talked about the idea of a practitioner. Here at GCSE, we look at styles. We touch on practitioners within those styles, but we look at the style as a whole. Now we've come to A-level, we need to dive a bit deeper into individual practitioners and what makes them work. A practitioner is either a person or a company which has very key and recognisable characteristics or techniques incorporated into their work. This does mean that if you were to watch a piece by a certain practitioner, it should meet certain criteria. So to start with, one of our practitioners we look at is Stanislavski. Hopefully he's someone you'll have heard of. He is the guy that invented and introduced the world of theatre to the idea of naturalism and realism, the idea of literally lifting the world and sticking it on stage. This is done both practically as an actor, but also design. Some of his techniques are more the preparing for a performance, but it is again about this idea of belief. We're going to watch this short little extract of The Three Sisters, and you'll notice straight away that this is a naturalistic piece. So by already from the still, you can see costume and the vast detail on the set, and let's have a little look.
By the sea strand of oak tree green, upon that oak chain of gold. Where are you going? Oh, well, that's odd.
To walk out on a name party.
Never mind, I'll again evening. Goodbye, my darling. Once again, I wish you well and happy. In old days, when father was alive, there were always 30 or 40 officers here on name days. It was noisy. But today, there's only a man and a half, and it's still in the desert. Although I'm feeling well. I've got the blues today, so don't you mind what I say. We'll talk again some other time, so for now I'm going. How tiresome you are. I understand, Mugshot.
If a man philosophizes, there will be great philosophy or sophistry. But if a woman philosophizes, or to it that, I declare will be much twiddle twattle.
What do you mean to say by that, you terrible person?
Nothing, he had enough time to say that before the bear was on his back.
Don't lover. This is why I've been back how long you've for me. From the district council, from the daily body of the model. Okay.
Well, thank you. I think that's for me.
What?
Thank you for me. Maybe you're getting something to eat. Better hold on, maybe give you something to eat.
Huh? Come along, and I want you to know. Come along. I don't like that little call, that inhaled coffee or even each. He ought not to be invited. I didn't invite him. It's a good thing. My dear Romish, what are you thinking about? Romish, you really have no conscience.
My dear girls, my darlings, you're all that I have left. The most precious treasures I've got on this earth. I'm an old man, will soon be 60. A useless old man alone in the world. There's nothing good in me anymore, except perhaps my love for you all. And were it not for you, I would have been dead years ago. My dear little girl, my darling, I've known you since you were a baby. I held you in my arms, and I loved you, your mother.
But why such expensive presents?
Oh, expensive presents. Get on with you.
Take some more here.
So, as you can hopefully see, it is meant to be creating this sense of truth, this sense of belief that this, what we're witnessing on stage, is something that could very well happen in real life. As I said, there are some links on here that we won't open. However, on the main PowerPoint, which you can find, as I said, on the main school website, if you were to click on this picture, it would take you to our YouTube channel where you could see a version of work that we actually did as a piece for the exam. And here is 3 girls putting on their extract for component 2 of the Cooley Girls in the style of Stanislavski, which you can watch that at your leisure. The second practitioner we study is Frantic Assembly, focus on physical theatre, and hopefully again a practitioner or a company that you have heard of. Here, see, is a few bullet points of, again, a few characteristics that make up their work and make it recognisable. But as before, we will now watch a little clip. Here is Frantic Assembly's adaptation of Othello.
from now to die, were now to be most happy. For I fear my soul hath heard content so absolute, and not another comfort like to this succeed an unknown fate.
The heavens forbid that our hearts of comfort should increase, even as our faith in Christ.
Amen to that sweet power. I cannot speak enough of this content. It stops me here. It's too much of joy. And this, and this, the greatest discourse be that ere our hearts shall make.
So, as you can see there, it says a round by through performance from the play Othello. So, with this style, then, obviously, you have your physical theatre abstract movements to convey meaning, relationship, and context. But obviously, there is moments of naturalistic acting as well, where you do come out of those moments and you then also tell the story and move on with the scene. Design-wise, again, costume and set can look naturalistic, but it's the way of using music, lighting, and even the set itself in a different way to that which would be deemed as naturalistic. Again, here's an example of a group of boys doing a frantic assembly piece for their exam, but again, you can look at that on YouTube at your leisure. The third practitioner is a practitioner called Berkhoff. He is a man, again, it's similar to that of physical theatre, but it's a little bit more stylized and a little bit more, I guess we could say, focused on the art of mime. Very much breaking the fourth wall and breaking the conventions of normality and realism. And again, here are a few techniques that you would see evident in his work. What we're going to do is watch a little scene from one of his plays called East, and hopefully you'll see a couple of those techniques in it.
Watching an eagle in that beautiful field, spring in parkland. Some leaves are starting to feel with his snow. Then touched his suspenders. I was about to speak my mouthpiece when I called, "Shut up, Norris." He ain't like a bloke. Dirty like. So I did. His hand was very slowly lifting his skirt up. So slowly. Like it was afraid that every second he might let an axe come down. No, boy, I thought. And he was only a kid. But he was just a sweet little Steve, and he couldn't see me in the dark. Nothing like it. Showing up. He lifted from the hand. And placed it on its chopper. And he had a beautiful silky offer. Ready growing. Juicy. I was getting ever so flushed. Every time the usher anywhere passed, we would freeze like two statues. I kept pumping away, and easy fumbling with the candy stuff. And then he shot out all over the back of the next seat. it turned real when I saw it. Our Mike! Danny Gaga takes after his day. I bumped him out when he got home. Oh, fancy going down the hospital tonight. I double fancy that. Being as it's something we'll have Mr. Teddy Turner, the famous band leader. Not the acid bath murderer or notorious political impersonator company Dick transvestite. Anthony Valentine. In a movie the other day, up to the flat pocket in Glenful Slamford Toll, roll the white collar, Johnny Ray collar that sailed down the elections. Fresh cuffs on a trouser with a 15-inch bottom. Yes, Johnny Goldsworthy. With DB the Mouse, but once patchwork, top loose, straws pockets on the trouser, satin lined, 18-inch slip up the arse on jackets, skirted waist. Oh, that one! Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. 15 left velvet collar, plenty of pad in the chest. Come, I'll say more padding. Of course, when we were hearing, not all slag neither. No point in pulling without wheel.
Right, so as you can see from that, it's very specifically about deliberate movements, usually comical. Berkoff did take his influences, as we said, from mime, but also from clowns. You could tell as well, the director dress, that they would be talking to the audience a lot. However, there would be moments where they would talk to each other. Also, you saw the exaggerated, almost montage of movements of them getting ready for a night out and going to the toilet. So, as I said, still physical theatre style, but different to that of Frantic Assembly. And again, here's an example of a pair of boys who use this style for their component one piece. Now, our last practitioner is Arto. He is the one that created a style of theatre called Theatre of Cruelty, a style of theatre that is meant to sort of shock and attack the audience, not physically, but to surprise them almost. It is not a piece of theatre to sit down and enjoy with a clear plot and a narrative. It is more an idea to invoke a sense of feeling, to create a certain mood or an atmosphere. Again, here are a couple of his bullet points that, again, if you see stuff like this in his work, then you definitely know it's an Arto piece. Unfortunately, there is not really a sort of professional production of his work directed by him. However, there is this group of students that put on an Arto piece and is commonly used as an excellent example of what Arto's work would look like. So let's have a little look at this. It is also one of his plays called A Spurt of Blood. So let's have a little look. Okay, so obviously you can see why we left that one till the end. Probably the most obscure style if you've not been introduced to Arto before. I tend to sort of sum it up in a bit that the idea is to create almost a nightmare. It's not meant to necessarily be very clear as to what's going on. It's more meant to be the feeling. What is a little bit disappointing, obviously, during the fact that I couldn't be here with you whilst you watch this, is to see your reactions and to hear your views from this. But obviously, we will go through that when we teach the course. So, as before, if you were to then go on to our YouTube page, then you could again watch a top band example of an Arto piece from the school. However, due to, as you could tell from the other version we just watched, YouTube has said that you do need to actually be logged in to view this one. So obviously make sure that you do. You also see from the still here and the example, there seems to be a lot of partial nudity. However, this is not actually a criteria. A few students like to go topless or in their pants because, again, that sense of shock. But trust me, it is not actually a requirement. So that is completely down to you. So those are our 4 practitioners. Stanislavski, naturalism. Frantic Assembly, physical theatre. Berkhoff, another form of physical theatre. And then Arto, the theatre of cruelty. Hopefully, we've found something for everyone. We've got something for if you just want to act, as it were. We've got something for maybe movers. We've got something for people that maybe want to take some risks. And we've also got something for if you want to give comedy a go. So hopefully 4 areas, and you should be able to find something in there that you like. The idea of the course is you'll be taught all 4, and then as part of the assessment, you'll need to be picking 3 to actually use in your performances. So, if we were together whilst doing this, we'd watch this little clip and we'd ask you to look at the questions down the side. However, what we'll now do is we will watch it just because it's obviously a piece of school theatre for the exam, but it will be part of our conversation when we see you in September. So, to sort of sum up, here is a piece. I want to see if you, from the 4 styles that we've looked at, can identify which practitioner this group has chosen and why. What have they clearly used in their work to convey this is in the style of a practitioner studied?
ready tonight, bingo. I love to. Anything for the job. Anything. And I get the job really well. My husband and I are 1978 in a beautiful charging ship. We have a beautiful life. Beautiful children. Sebastian, Felicity. Unfortunately, Richard is unable to contribute at the moment. So here I am learning to give my children work.
Well, I can officially work for 21 hours, 1 minute and 34 seconds. I then use 2 hours to sleep, 11 minutes to eat, and 48 minutes to work out. And then I repeat. Sleep, eat, work out, repeat. Sleep, eat, work out, repeat. Sleep, eat, work out, repeat.
So, what experience do you have? My father has worked in this company for years. 32 exact. Until his heart, would you know how Sorry.
Well, I completed 2 GCSEs at the age of 7. French and maths. Just really on the So I'm good at communicating internationally. Also, I completed 2-1 at Imperial College, studying economics. But that's life work.
Well, it's anywhere you want. I mean everything. Anything. I made a choice. Very experienced. Say, what qualities do you bring? Friendly. What makes you stand out? Anything. Well, let's just say English is my first language.
The team can tell me focus
no breaks. So, that's it for today. Good. Here's my card. One last thing. Alex is stressed. Alex is stressed. She likes it. The taste is salty. Juice worms. Smell. Perhaps it's not my egg. A dash of salt. She realizes it's eggs. How would you all be everything? Yes, Mary. With sexy side from security.
This is my floor.
Doors closing. Oh! Thanks, Alex. Alex. Playing 9 to 5.
Playing 9 to 5 in the bathroom on Tropified Music.
Good morning. We've been thinking long and hard about this decision. We would like to congratulate Simon. Nice to meet you.
So we'll discuss that in our first lesson in September, but from that glance and looking at the questions to the side, who is the practitioner they chose to use, and where is the evidence to back that statement up? So that'll be a little conversation we have when we start in September. Now to set you with a little transition summer task. Broken it down into two areas. As you know, we've looked at our 4 practitioners. Task 1 is, depending what the first letter of your surname is, I'd like you to do a bit of research on one of the 4 practitioners. What I'd like you to do is to explore their background, techniques associated with them, and look into 2 productions that they have either influenced or created. No more than 2 sides of A4, and you can also include images. Task 2 is on the main PowerPoint. If you click on the picture, this will take you to the production of the Curious Instant Dog in the Nighttime. What I'd like to do is write me a short review, 3 to 4 paragraphs detailing one of the following elements in different scenes. So either focus on acting or costume, the use of lighting and sound, or set and props. Try and find maybe 3 different areas, 3 different scenes that you could write about, hopefully contrasting, just so I can see how you write and what you are able to pick out from a performance. These 2 tasks will need to be handed in on your first lesson in September. Now, moving on, when we have our practical lessons, we do have a criteria. So you need to bring in a plain black top. You also need to bring in some plain black bottoms. These can be shorts, leggings, trackies. We don't wear shoes and socks. However, if you do have dance wear, that is appropriate. We want to keep the space as clean and hygienic as possible. You'll also see that we do have a drama hoodie and a drama polo. These are optional, and we charge £18 for a polo, £26 for a hoodie. You do not need to have them. However, due to the fact that they have the logo on them, it does mean that you are a little bit more free to walk around some parts of the school without having to keep changing into and out of your kit. But as I said before, plain black top, plain black bottoms are a must. And we do have changing rooms that you will change from your uniform into these. As I've said, we do have a YouTube account where we do upload videos of exam pieces, etc. But we also have a Facebook account. This is probably more something that parents seem to follow, but it is probably where, if you are thinking of pursuing a career or a future in the performing arts industry, it might be worth you following this, because it's where I get to share opportunities, websites and stuff like that, which will help you move forward. And we also have a Instagram account. Okay, so if you want to follow any of those, you're more than welcome to do so. That is kind of it from the Loom video. All of this stuff, as I said, is on the main school website, where you can go into a little bit more detail, and you can even watch the student examples. With that, I hope you're all going to be staying safe and well. I hope you get the grades you need, and I look forward to seeing you in September. So that is bye from me.